recently, the tax was passed along with drastic improvements in billboard enforcement, which is an amazing thing. We can give a huge applause for that. And so now why we're here is the remaining step is to get the tax revenues dedicated to enhancing public spaces with art.
This is actually closer to the process we've experienced in the past. So we worked through the system, got it on the radar, got it, then it went into the City of Toronto Act, finally passed. It started to go forward. This right now is that actually the pressure is coming from outside the political process.
They are not big components of the majors. They are those young people who have organized themselves around the beauty of this city.
She goes by the name of Tanika Charles. So please, everybody, give her a warm BCBF welcome.
Yeah, they're going to trust you.
Settle dancing with your ghost. Take him everywhere with me. Said he likes his music loud, so you know that I don't sleep no more. And I'm laughing.
You've done the work, and you have the expectation that you want to move the yardsticks forward. And you can push us and support us.
That's why this town hall is called Invoice.
In all of the faces of the other people staring back at me.
And you have to rise to the occasion and believe in all of us.
And then you got to call City Hall day and night. We're all here working together, and we can build this beautiful city.
The City of Toronto communicated a legitimate expectation that the tax revenue to be collected from the billboard industry would rightly come to you.
There was a vote on whether or not we should dedicate this. We said, we're not going to make our minds up to dedicate now. We're going to put it off.
2 million now believe in it. Let's make it happen.
These folks in beautiful city, they're all right. If you're going to raise my taxes, it better go to folks like that. That swings a vote in the suburbs as quickly as it swings a vote downtown.
Open up the questions for Councillor Adam Blunt right now.
You've done a lot of work already, and I know you think maybe the vote at council should have been the last thing you had to do and everything would be fine. You can go back to being young artists, young creative folks, young citizens leading a new way in the city. The reality is that politics is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a constant struggle. But if you can find a way and try to massage that budget process, you'll get the breakthrough you need.
Adam, selecting the question.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. You spoke about efficiencies earlier, and quite often that's kind of a difficult word for people to hear because when they say efficiency, it means cut and cutting a program.
We're not going to build this city on budget cuts. We're going to build it by bringing new ideas to the table, new ways to grow Toronto. You guys, as I said before, the best ideas I've seen, the biggest movement we've seen, and you guys will succeed. If not this year, next year, but I'll be there hopefully helping you all along. Thanks very much.
You ask where the money's going. Taking the TTC, we spend $430 million making the TTC go. That's on top of what you pay in your fares, right? We're the only transit system in any major city in the developed world that gets zero operating funding from either its federal or provincial government. Zero. That means over the next 18 months, we have to cut 2,000 subsidized daycare spots in the city of Toronto. That's 1 in 5 subsidized daycare spots. There is a deliberate attack on the social services that make this city livable.
Because if you take a look at the big race, the mayoralty race that's going on, and I noticed that George Smithman's here, and that's a great indication that the mayoralty race is starting to listen. What you have in front of you is an array of candidates that are talking about the past right now. And we need them to talk about you. What's next?
This is a bad year for us.
Next year
We
is
think,
worse.
next year is worse. We think what we can do is, even though we've got to be making some cuts, we think we can keep you guys from getting cut.
What is the number that would have been cut if it was a 5% cut?
In rough terms, the amount that the arts didn't get cut, if we had done the 5% that we're doing in a lot of other places,
Yeah.
mostly in the hard services like transportation and stuff. If we had done that, it'd be about what the revenue from the billboard tax is. The thing is, I can't promise you we can do that next year. I can't promise you we can dedicate that money.
As a total measure of our city's total investment in the arts, our current funding commitment is as close to zero as a sum that it is to 1 as a percentage of our net operating expenditure in any given year. In fact, the Martin Prosperity Institute, housed at the Rotman School of Management, has traced our funding commitment to the arts since 1991 and concluded that we don't even exist on the map of the global world of arts. And this year, we're so committed to arts funding that we are decreasing our total expenditure even further. I have in my hand the general presentation of the staff budget. And if you go to my website, www.roccoformayor.com, I have promised to double arts funding and provide more space. My name is Rocco Echampong, dear friends, and with your help, I can rightfully say I am the next mayor of Toronto. Thank you very much.
You're asking how can people come together to build a movement to support taxation? This is the only one I've ever seen in my life. This is it. And to come back now and say it's either that or a daycare doesn't seem fair. And I'm just hoping you guys can somehow bump it up a bit so it's something above zero, so these people feel like they fought for something. And Devin and all these folks have spent how many years?
Yeah.
It can't end up with a flat
By
run.
the way, I'm not telling you to stop pushing. You gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep pushing. There's never gonna be a day when you go home and it's done.
We recognize that in 8
And-
years has gone in and it'll continue to happen. So we'll just move the next question right over here.
We're not making enough money to operate as a city.
That's right.
We're not making enough money to operate as a city.
That's right. That's the problem. They're taking your money and using it to subsidize other parts of the province that aren't politically threatening to them because they're not organized like this.
You think that that we see you as liars. Well, I have to tell you, what you did in not letting this vote come to the money that created it at this present time has really deflated our belief in you councillors.
Councillors have to listen to their constituents, so really focus on your own councillors. Keep up the pressure as it will hit council on April 15th and 16th, so you can phone them, you can request meetings. It's really, really important that people do that.
All great societies come to be known primarily because of the artistic contributions to our total human catalog of artistic achievement.